Hulk Hogan is a selfish, self-absorbed, overcooked walrus who's about as smart as one who has suffered brain damage from a jet ski. Hulk would always make some pretty moronic statements. You always got the impression when you were around him that he wasn't an intelligent guy. Some of the boys you could have some pretty intelligent discussions about a lot of subjects, but Hulk wasn't one of them. I never knew anyone who had the chance to spend 20 minutes with Hulk, who walked away feeling smarter, you know. My dad Stu used to say just cause they can cut a promo doesn't mean they can think, which is just sort of an old school shooter's way of saying that a lot of wrestlers might be charismatic but aren't very thoughtful people. I remember back around 92 we had been on the road, and I was starting to get a bit of momentum behind me. They had me working the program with Roddy, and kinda sizing me up as maybe the next guy they could pass the torch to. One of the things Roddy encouraged me to do was mingle with the big boys, and the main eventers like Hulk. Roddy said that I could get a better sense of what's entailed when you're at the front of Vince's machine. I was never sure if Roddy was ribbing me or not, as people from Saskatchewan or Manitoba tend to have a really skewed perception on things. You never ask them how far away something is, or what they would call a hoodie. So I tried to make small talk with Hulk one day at catering. He had come out of his dressing room to stretch his legs, and decided to help himself to catering. Which wasn't common for Hulk. He usually had Beefcake running around the arena taking care of his matters. Canadians aren't always great at small talk, so I was a bit cautious. We always revert back to weather. It's a real Canadian thing because it really dictates the sort of day you're gonna have. If it's snowing, your day is going to take a bit longer than normal, or if it's sunny, you might try to put together some plans for a picnic or something to get outside, you know. I remember trying to talk to Hogan and it just wouldn't go anywhere. He was working a really difficult conversation style. I'd ask what he thought about the Super Bowl that year and he kinda mumbled, "Unless the Bucks are in it, and I get free seats, then I don't care, brother." I tried a lot of things, putting together a pretty layered conversation, but Hogan just wasn't interested. You could tell he wanted the shortest conversation he could have. He had no interest in selling any of my talking points or ideas. Finally, I asked maybe if he had any thoughts on the situation in Yugoslavia that was unfolding. He piled more buttered buns onto his plate without looking at me and laughed and said, "As long as they got some Hulkamaniacs they'll be okay, brother," then patted me on the shoulder and walked back to his dressing room. As he walked off, I could just tell that Hulk might be billed at 6 feet 8 inches and 300 pounds, but he's got the IQ of about 54.